9 rating with over 18,000 reviews, and the Zero Res 30-day Gotta Love It guarantee makes it easy to get what you pay for. Schedule your appointment today at ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 952-ZERO-RES and ask for the AM 950 special. Again, this month, that's 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at just $129 and get a 4th room free. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res.
Greg Bakken here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
It's no secret that medical care costs are soaring, with nursing home and skilled nursing care costs being some of the highest. You don't have to deplete your savings in order to receive long-term care. At Schroman Law, we work with families to develop and implement strategic planning for medical assistance for long-term care, for assisted living, nursing home care, or home-based care. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation at schromanlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Partly cloudy overnight with patchy fog and a low of 68. Then Tuesday, sunshine with a high of 86. For more than 40 years, the Great Wall Restaurant has been serving up Szechuan and Mandarin favorites. The Great Wall is located just north of 50th in France on the Minneapolis-Edina City line. Check them out at greatwallrestaurant.us.
Anine, I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local and national Native news and events, and as you know, Haley, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Dega. This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
We are so humbled and happy to have Minnesota Lieutenant Governor Flanagan and Wisconsin Lieutenant Governor Sara Rodriguez on. I want to just say a big how are you guys doing? Thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Thanks so much for having us. I get to be with one of my favorite LGs with 2 of my favorite radio hosts.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. This is great. Thank you so much for having me.
This is really great. This is our dream. Haley and ours have dreamt about doing this for forever. Hey, Lieutenant Governor Flanagan, last night you were a big part of a Native Women and Two-Spirit national Zoom. That was amazing, and I got a chance to watch some of that and see some of the play.
Thank you. It was so much fun. We had over 1,800 people register. We raised over $35,000. Of course, had Sharice Davids and Auntie Deb stopped by. We had organizers from all across the country who work on environmental issues like Jade Begay, and folks like Leash Kozlowski from Minnesota, who's a state representative. And I think you could just really feel the momentum and the excitement, and of course had the amazing Janice Meeting as our host. And people should get ready. We'll have a larger Native Voters for Harris kickoff in the coming weeks, and we'll just have so many opportunities for folks to engage all across Indian country. I'm excited, and I know that we're ready to get to work.
Yeah, we really are. Lieutenant Governor Rodriguez, we were really happy and surprised, and then the 24 hours happened, and now I think our friend Vice President Harris has over $200 million in her coffers. Oh my goodness, we are just stoked here, and people are jumping aboard, and we are excited.
Yeah, I can tell you, she came to Milwaukee. I got to meet her on the tarmac. It was so wonderful to be able to welcome her to my state, to my city. And then she went and did her first rally, and the excitement in that room was palpable. I have to tell you, people are so excited to be able to vote for Vice President Harris. And she has been able to get dollars in the door. And over 60% of those dollars, that huge number that you just mentioned, those are first time donors. And so when you're talking about people who may not have been engaged before, they saw Vice President Harris and they were willing to put their money into her campaign so that she can win this November.
Lieutenant Governor Flanagan, we've been our friend, I think, has called our friendly orange people and the JD person weird, and I got to get a T-shirt that says that.
I'm sure there will be some that will be printed. Of course, my governor has absolutely been on the circuit and mentioned that these guys are just weird, and I think that's right. And I also think that they're dangerous. It is very clear, right? They have said that they want to be in the exam room. They want to decide what books people are going to read. They want to prevent certain communities, Indigenous folks included, right, throw up obstacles to our access to the ballot box. That's weird, right? And it's dangerous. And so I think we couldn't have a better contrast in having Vice President Harris be our nominee, who is a proven, highly qualified leader. Of course, she was a district attorney, attorney general, a United States senator, and also the vice president of the United States. And Lieutenant Governor Rodriguez and I know a little something about being second in command. And what that means is that you are a governing partner. And Vice President Harris has been a governing partner to President Biden. She is prepared. She is ready to go. And I cannot wait to watch her debate Donald Trump.
Exactly. Lieutenant Governor Rodriguez, we've seen some polling lately, and the Republicans didn't seem like they got much of a jump after their convention, but we got a nice jump in a lot of states that are purpley like your own because of the way the districting's happening in our great state of Wisconsin. But there's excitement, and people like my producer Haley here, the Gen Zs are engaged.
They really are. The Gen Zs are engaged, and you couldn't be a starker contrast with this as well. I have two kids that are 15 and 17, and my son's a senior in high school, and some of his contemporaries are going to be able to vote this November. And so they are excited now to register to vote. They are excited to vote for Vice President Harris. And there are many, many things within the policy arena that I think are very interesting to Gen Z members. And again, the contrast could not be more clear. When you're talking about environmental regulations, Donald Trump wants to get rid of environmental regulations. Vice President Harris wants to protect our environment. If you're looking at student loan relief, as somebody who went to school on student loans, my mom was a teaching assistant, my dad fixed telephones. There weren't a lot of money for me to be able to go to school. That's a big deal for folks to be able to go to school and have that student loan debt relief, be able to buy those houses, to be able to participate in the economy in a more robust way. And so I do think that Gen Z is going to be able to look at this and see that their choice for president has to be Vice President Harris.
That's right.
Well, the contrast is there, Lieutenant Governor Flanagan. You mentioned just a few things. There's many things, and it's great to see the state of Minnesota still a good 10 points for Harris ahead, and we have not voted for a Republican president since 1972, and I don't even know what happened then. That was Nixon.
Well, I think we've got a pretty good track record, but we're not taking anything for granted. And I think that this election, really, the spotlight will be on Indian country. We are strategically located in swing states all across the country. So making sure that you are registered to vote, the folks in your family are registered to vote, and that you're talking about the importance of this election. Project 2025 wants to do, Trump's Project 2025 wants to do away with the Department of the Interior. They're not big fans of tribal sovereignty. Our existence is on the line. And I think today it is so poignant that the abortion ban, Trump's abortion ban, just went into effect in Iowa. That is also on the line for us. So you're welcome in Minnesota, our neighbors who need access to abortion, but let us be absolutely clear. If Donald Trump gets elected, abortion will be outlawed across the country. And that is why, as a mom of an 11-year-old daughter, I am fiercely supporting Kamala Harris for president, because I want her to have sovereignty over herself, the way that she's able to be governed, but also over her own body and the healthcare choices she makes in the future.
Well, I'm so happy and excited that you two were able to make it for the opening of the show. We got 2 minutes left, and Lieutenant Governor Rodriguez, I want to give you a minute, and then I want to give another minute to our friend Lieutenant Governor Flanagan to close this segment out.
So, number one, thank you so much for having me. And I couldn't agree with Lieutenant Governor Flanagan more. I'm a nurse by background, and the thought of having a national abortion ban, which is what Trump wants to implement, there will be no safe place for women to go. And that is terrifying to me as a clinician. We know that reproductive health care is health care. And that's what Vice President Harris is really fighting for. And I would say anybody who's out listening there right now, make sure you are registered to vote. Make sure you've got a plan to vote, and talk to your friends and neighbors. Have those difficult conversations. Talk to them about what's on the line, because it is going to be so important this November.
Lieutenant Governor Flanagan, you're up.
This is the candidate who is all about freedom, our freedom to make our own decisions, to live the life that we want to live, to love who we want to love. And I am so excited, and you can feel the energy, right? 170,000 volunteer shifts, $200 million in donations. Get on this train. Indian country is so important to this election. And I know that we are going to turn up and turn out. Last night was just an example of it. We've got 98 days to get her across the finish line.
Thank you to Big Peenigi so much for being on and starting out this show. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. Oh, that was Lieutenant Governor Flanagan and Rodriguez. We'll be right back.
If the statistics say that 1 in 3 Native women and 1 in 6 Native men have experienced sexual assault in their lifetime, it means our whole community is affected by sexual violence. 1 is too many. Don't stand by, stand up. Don't engage in acts of sexual violence, and shut down the dirty jokes, the gossip, the victim blaming and shaming. As a community, we can change the way we respond. Contact the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition to attend a workshop to learn more.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Bonjour, hello. My name is Wabin. I am an enrolled member of the White Earth Nation, descendant of the Navajo Nation, and co-chair of the Indigenous Employee Resource Group with the Minnesota Department of Transportation. MnDOT is hiring for a variety of positions from road maintenance to accounting and more. We offer great benefits. For more information or to set up a one-on-one resume and application assistance, visit mn.gov/careers, or you can text or call 612-257-2388. 612-257-2388.
End-of-life decisions are not easy to make. Hi, I'm Mary T. of Mary T. Hospice Care. It's important to make sure that this difficult time is meaningful and comforting to you and your loved ones. Our hospice team provides an individualized program of physical, emotional, spiritual, and practical care so your loved one is comfortable and not in pain. At Mary T. Hospice, we understand that choosing the right hospice care provider can be overwhelming, but we're here to assist you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Development Institute, or NACDI, in Minneapolis.
Hey, we have our friend Darek Delille, manager of Making Voting a Tradition with Native American Community Development Institute here in the Twin Cities, Minnesota. We are so happy to have you on. Welcome, as always. Hoa.
Oh, bonjour. Thank you for having me back again. Jawanung Benesi Indigo, Mushkazibing Nindunjabai Dush, Kakabi Kong Indanungom, Mine Gun Indo Dame. I said, Southern Spirit Bird is what the spirits know me as. My people are from Bad River, but I live in Minneapolis today, and I'm part of the Wolf Clan. I'm very happy to be with you today. I'm here in the beautiful, renovated Indian Center located in our American Indian Cultural Corridor. Coming at you live. I'm happy to be here, you guys.
Well, we are so happy to have you on, and we had a good start of the show. I saw you were in the bullpen listening to these two powerhouses, and what a way to start the show and get going and talking about making voting a tradition.
Yeah, I did catch a lot of what those great leaders are talking about, and their talking points are really getting a little bit more energized these days, and I love it. What we're seeing right here on the avenue and even into the reses, what we're feeling, let me say it that way, what we're feeling is a lot more energy and a lot more importance around voting. So maybe this isn't the best of times. I think it's a far cry from each other when you're talking about the left and the right. They are very far from each other right now. But I think for our program specifically, because of this energy, this is picking up really well, especially in Indian country.
Yeah, we were talking earlier with the two lieutenant governors and how Haley's generation, the Gen Zs, are really stepping forward and really excited with the vice president, and that makes me excited.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm picking up on a lot of energy. I have a few young ones myself in that age bracket, and there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of back and forth. There's people are at the table again talking about this. They're on their couches. They're talking about things and what is important to us. And I've always said, if we can be at this table and we talk about our important things, everybody at that table gets to learn. And when we disperse, we go to different tables and we bring all of that knowledge that we gained from this table to the next one. And everybody branches out. And this is the way that we've always done business as Anishinaabe as I am, but Turtle Island natives all across the board. This is how we do it. We talk, we deliberate, we find out what connects here to our hearts, what is real and what is truth for us. And if we get down and boil it down to that, I know from my observations, Turtle Island natives all across the map will vote very similar. And that's an exciting thing. So if we can get them out there, that's the key, is to make sure we get them out there to vote. Our votes are going to be very similar, and they're going to be, as Lieutenant Governor said, very impactful. We are strategically placed in very key states.
Absolutely. And we talked about this at the last presidential cycle, and how groups like Make Voting a Tradition had helped sign up over 9,000 new voters up in the north in the reservations. How big a deal that is, and how that affects local and national elections. And we do matter, and we're still here.
Yeah, a lot of our votes, when you talk about past elections, a lot of them are close. If you look back
Mhm.
at the data, you can see plainly that there's slim margins. And like I was just mentioning, our votes are very similar. So if we can get out, and if we can get out there and vote, we're going to make an impact. And those slim margins, I attribute that to Indian country. Absolutely. In many cases, my coworker Jolene Jones would say, mention about Standing Rock. And there was a sheriff that didn't do so well in the Native people's eyes. And they were running for re-election shortly after Standing Rock happened.
Mhm.
And the Natives got out and they voted and they made sure that things happened, and it didn't go the way that they planned. That was a swing vote, and we made that happen. So it's evidence that we can make things happen, and I believe we can make things happen on a large scale like this big election coming up.
Yeah, that was very insightful for you to say that, because we needed to get Stenick out of Hennepin County, and we really supported Dave Hutch, and we our prayers are out for Dave because he's run into some personal problems, and we put tobacco out for Dave, and he'd been on Native Roots Radio many times, and the community did support him, and he had a lot of great things to do, and he was a polar opposite, like what we're dealing with nationally with the presidential election. We do make a difference. I mean, Arizona, there's Michigan, there's these states that we may be 2-3% of the voting block, but we made a difference. We turned Arizona blue, meaning the natives.
Yeah. And I think there's another key to that. I think because our numbers are, as population wise, we have very small numbers. So we're kind of a sneaky vote. You know, they don't count on us. They don't have us in their data. We know this. We've looked at the data. So we do know that our numbers aren't there. So we come in, if we come in with a strong push, we're all of a sudden pushing numbers that were uncounted. And I love that.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. And we have, like we said, and what you guys do with Make Voting a Tradition is you're constantly tabling and signing up new voters, and giving out cool T-shirts. By the way, oh, oh, hey, Haley's got one on.
I had to rep my new Make Voting a Tradition shirt. Shout out you guys. You guys are, like every powwow, even up at the Red Lake powwow, there was a Make Voting a Tradition tabling there. And it's so important just to see your guys' presence out in community. So big Pinagee, thank you for that.
Awesome. I love it. I see you repping that shirt. It warms my heart when I see that out there, because it gives me a little bit more hope. I'm not short on hope, but it's always good to get a boost of that. And yeah, we were out at Red Lake. That's one of the things we try to do. I also saw you guys out there, which was awesome. First of all, it's a great time. We were accepted very well. Red Lake was very gracious and treated us so well. The biggest part of that is just to be out there and just to be seen. We know as natives, you have to be there. You have to show up a few times before some people will open up. And now that I've been around my program for a little bit now, I'm being recognized. I'm being received well. I'm being received openly and acknowledged for the work that I'm doing. And I want to believe that they're acknowledging the importance of the work that I'm doing. And there's not much, I don't think there'll be a bigger time for our type of program. I mean, this is a big time. Everybody's talking about this. This is all over the news. This is all over TikTok. This is all over Facebook. It's all over everywhere. You can't escape this. So it is a critical time for us to get out and really flex our power, which we have. I want every Native American to know that we do have power. We've just got to flex it. Got to use it. And when we get out there, when we put ourselves out there, there's such a pride that comes with that. Being a part of something that's bigger than you. I realize that this system was maybe not constructed in the way we would have liked to have it be constructed. It wasn't made for us in many ways. I realize that. I want to get beyond those facts. I want to build the pride and say we can do this and we will do this if we get out there and do it.
Right on. Hey, we're here with Darek Delille, manager of Make Voting a Tradition, and we're going to be right back after this short break. Ho-wah.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, can potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hi, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. If you need new windows for your home or business, I highly recommend 952 Windows. They offer windows and doors with the longest warranties and Energy Star's #1 most efficient ratings. I can personally vouch for them, having known the owner for decades. They did a fantastic job on our second floor addition 20 years ago, installing windows, roofing, siding, and even adding a master bedroom and bathroom. 952 Windows is part of Loyal Home, founded by some of the Ethics award-winning former Window Light employees. In my opinion, they're one of the most best-kept secrets in remodeling. As Onyx Bath and Rosebud cabinet dealers, 952 Windows guarantees top-quality products. Most of their business comes from referrals, so much so that they have been called the best-kept secret in remodeling by their competitors. For unbeatable deals and trusted service on windows, doors, roofing, siding, kitchens, bathrooms, and more, call 952 Windows or visit 952windows.com.
The Powderhorn Art Fair is celebrating 33 years of community and local art on the weekend of August 3rd and 4th. This year's event will be the biggest yet with a record number of artists and vendors. Over 190 local and regional artists will exhibit their work, offering diverse art from clay and digital art to jewelry and woodwork. Floral and garden vendors will bring extravagant bouquets and blooming artistry to the park. And the Powderhorn Art Fair will highlight local businesses, arts nonprofits, and eco-conscious upcycle artists. Whether you're an art enthusiast or a casual buyer, there's something for everyone. Plus, enjoy sweet and savory treats from more than 20 food trucks. There's the kid-friendly family zone, packed with creative activities. And don't miss the on-site DJ providing vibrant sounds throughout the weekend. The Powderhorn Art Fair is free to the public with proceeds supporting PPNA community initiatives. Make plans to head to the Powderhorn Art Fair on Saturday and Sunday, August 3rd and 4th from 10 to 5 at Powderhorn Park in Minneapolis. More at powderhornartfair.com.
At Better Futures Minnesota, we support Minnesota's environment by working towards zero waste and the transformation of the lives of men in our workforce development model. Better Futures Minnesota engages men with histories of incarceration and homelessness. Our approach reaffirms each man's dignity, instilling self-discipline and behaviors that empower them to achieve self-sufficiency and a better future. We set hard-to-employ men on a pathway to independence through employment in our reuse retail warehouse and work crews specializing in building deconstruction, property maintenance, appliance recycling, and janitorial services. We strive to create a sustainable future where social equity, economic opportunity, and environmental justice intersect. By addressing these interconnected challenges, Better Futures Minnesota works towards building resilient, healthy communities for all Minnesotans. We believe that true sustainability can only be achieved when all members of our community can thrive. Join us in making a difference. Visit us at betterfuturesminnesota.com and donate today.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Partly cloudy overnight with patchy fog and a low of 68. Then Tuesday, sunshine with a high of 86. For more than 40 years, the Great Wall Restaurant has been serving up Szechuan and Mandarin favorites. The Great Wall is located just north of 50th in France on the Minneapolis-Edina City line. Check them out at greatwallrestaurant.us.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Yes, they do. Hey, we're here with Darek, Delille, manager of Make Voting a Tradition with Native American Community Development Institute here in the Twin Cities, Minnesota. We're always happy to have you on, and what a great way to start a Monday. You have a crew of people that make voting a tradition. Well, let's give those guys a shout out, Darek.
Yeah, absolutely. Me and my program, it's only a 2-person outfit. It's me, I'm the manager, and my co-worker, Jolene Jones, who is the Minnesota coordinator. But what we do, one of the special things about our program is we really contract out. So we work with 30 to 40 plus Native Americans and BIPOC out in this very community. So taking that asset-based mindset and looking out into the community, again, here's the importance of presence and being out in community. You get to get a good view of who's out there and who wants to do some good things. And when you can see that, when you talk to the people that are about something, that are hustlers, they want to do good work for the people, that's all I need to hear. That's all I need to see. That's all I need to feel. When I feel that, that's when I approach in a different way. I want to approach the reservations in much of the same way. Not only that asset-based mindset, but also thinking about how I can come in a non-extractive way, in a non-prescribing way. I want to offer. And I know when we're talking to our Native people, we work like this. It's reciprocal. Mm-hmm. So once I offer, that begins. And that's just, it's a beautiful way to work, I think. I think it's the way we should all be working.
Absolutely. Hey, you mentioned TikTok and social media. When President Biden, supported his vice president for the presidency, Vice President Harris, I was like a little shocked, a lot of things were going through my head, but like your organization, Make Voting a Tradition, you get reinforced with good feelings in that you're not alone. And I was watching TikTok and people were spitting out a lot of great things, and I felt a lot better. Like when you guys table and talk about, how we do have power and that we are in the game.
Yeah, I think that social media aspect is so huge these days. So do be looking. We're going to be also another strong suit of the program I work for. And the supportive organization I work for, my program will be partnering with McGizzy Communications. Look for some videos to come from the youth. We want them all written, directed, produced by the youth. And so that partnership is going to be something beautiful. It's going to be something fruitful that we get from them, because we want the videos from the youth. We want their voice to be heard. And I think that's, I mean, isn't that our way? If I'm not mistaken, I think that's our way.
Yeah. I agree 100%. And we'd love to play those here on Native Roots Radio, and amplify our youth, because, Haley, the young ones are excited, as we said. I know
Yeah.
you're excited, and you gave money, and I know you're kind of tight. So that was really cool to hear.
Yeah, well, it's all about those small donations that really make a difference and can add up. And yeah, I think, hearing from our youth and hearing their experiences and hearing what they, are looking forward to or expect in a future of theirs. I think that's really important. In our communities and in our culture, we talk about giving respect and credit due to those generations before us and what they were able to leave for us. But it's also our responsibility to listen to the generations younger than us and kind of help them build up the future, not only for us and what we're going to be retiring in, but their future for their kids and then their grandchildren. So it really is that 7-generation type of mindset. And I think that's a great opportunity to hear the most important information coming from our next generation.
Yep, I don't think there's a better way, and that was said so beautifully, Haley. That was just, I mean, that's the way we are programmed. We're just programmed that way. It's a DNA level, and a lot of people don't understand that. It's either there or it isn't. And for our Native people that we know, that we frequent and meet, for us, it's just that way. This is just the way we are. So knowing that and acknowledging that and using that to our benefit is not only doing us proud. We get to be pride filled from that. But we also always think back. You can see it in our paintings. You can hear it in our songs. You can hear it in our poems. We always look back, and our ancestors are somehow looking down, and they have that smile, and they're so proud of us. And then we have to do the work, which we're here to do. Creator gave us able minds and able bodies that we can do this work. And we're so proud to do what we do. I know you guys personally, both of you, and I know how proud you are to do your work. And I know you believe me when I say, I am so proud to do the work I do. That's a good beginning. And now we talk about that effect and how that spreads down to the children. We come out and the importance of being present at all events, if you can be. Come out showered, come out freshly geared, come out, rock your beads, put on your moccasins, do whatever you want so you can stand proud and watch the kids. They will look at you, they will watch you, and they'll listen. And we are the ones to show that future way. We are cutting that path. We know this. And there's nobody better for the job than me and you and you.
Yeah, here on that. And the young ones watch us, as you were saying, and just a good medicine that we bring in. I was thinking when you were saying that, is that how important too to have somebody like Heather Keeler, state representative, and also State Senator Mary Kunish and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan. When I was teaching high school, I always made it. I always made sure that I told them how important it is that my kids can see somebody that looks like them in this role.
I agree fully. I think another strong suit of working for the organization that I work for is it always makes me think of art. That we do a lot of that. We work with artists. We nurture those relationships, and we keep and hold those relationships. And all of that art depicts us. Native people and how huge that is to be able to look in a space and say, wow, that's Native. That represents me. That is so huge. And I might have mentioned it on the last time I was on the radio, but the fact of the matter is I am from Minneapolis. I was here as a young man. I was just a young boy, and this stuff wasn't around. I didn't see these things. I didn't get to look up to powwow grounds. I didn't get to see that. There was much different things on the avenue them days. And so now to be able to see us more consistently is just a beautiful thing, and it is going to work for the kids. I know it. You can't break my belief on that. It will trickle down to the kids, and we're going to see more, and we're going to see more and more and more development.
Absolutely. And one of the things that as a teacher, I know for myself, I was a late bloomer, and it's not a race. And if we're consistent with our young ones, they will arise when it's their time. And I do truly believe that you cannot force that, Derek.
Yeah, I absolutely agree there 100%. Me and my wife, we've got 7 between us, 7 children. I've got 2 grandkids now, and that's amazing to me. I'm 50 years old now. I don't know how that happened, but I'm here now, and I'm ready for it, I guess. But I do get to see that the generations and see this trickle down a little bit into the youth, and it's such a beautiful thing. And so I know if we can get things to move in that direction through the kids, then I gotta believe that make voting a tradition will be. It will be. It just will be.
Yeah. What a great name too. And we got a minute left, Derek, and we really appreciate you stopping in on your busy schedule. I want people out there. We always talk about an action that our listeners can take. One of them is maybe to support Native American Community Development Institute or make voting a tradition. Could you just let our people know how to get a hold of you or how we can get more information?
Maybe even for all the other the non-brown people. I remember Lake Street. Oh man, they came out after the riots and helped clean and all that good work, that good hard work. I wanted to say, where are you now today? We need you in the neighborhood today. We need you to support these businesses. We need you to walk these blocks and come visit us and see how awesome we are. We are an awesome people. We are an amazing people. You come to Powwow Grounds, you come to the Indian Center here, which I'm at right now, you will 100% be received well and treated very well. This is just the way we are. Come check us out. Come visit us. Come talk to us. Come build with us. Come develop with us. And, come help my program make voting a tradition.
Hey, Derek, Big Peeny Gigi, thank you so much for being on. What a great show, and you never disappoint. Thank you so much for being on.
Big with you guys, Penny Gigi, to both of you. I'm going to see you very soon.
You know that. Hey, Native Roots Radio, we'll be right back after this short break. Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune into Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Bonjour, hello. My name is Wabin. I am an enrolled member of the White Earth Nation, descendant of the Navajo Nation, and co-chair of the Indigenous Employee Resource Group with the Minnesota Department of Transportation. MnDOT is hiring for a variety of positions from road maintenance to accounting and more. We offer great benefits. For more information or to set up a one-on-one resume and application assistance, visit mn.gov/careers, or you can text or call 612-257-2388. 612-257-2388.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
This is Leonard Peltier. I am in Coleman 1, U.S. Penitentiary, and I'm listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Well, Haley, we could probably do terrible the rest of the show, and this would probably be one of the best shows we've had in a long time.
Hey, they're all pretty great, but I do have to give, a shout out to Darek Delille and Lieutenant Governors Peggy Flanagan and Sara Rodriguez of the state, Minnesota and Wisconsin. It's just amazing to hear, the new energy and the kind of like this new like fresh air and wind of hope for election season. And I think it's, we're able to see that pretty clearly from voters.
Yeah. Well, after our show today, there's a Women for Harris national organization call happening. Do you have any more information on that?
Yes. So this is a new Instagram page. It's called Natives for Harris. That's NATIVES, number 4, and then Harris. You can follow them on Instagram. And they, Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan was on that Native Women and Two-Spirit call last night for Kamala Harris that had guest speakers, Minnesota Lieutenant Gov, Representative Leish Koslowski, and others. Deb Holland. And there will also be another Zoom meeting tonight, July 29th at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Time. This will be a special call hosted by the Democrats at the Democrats on Instagram and Kamala Harris. Hear from extraordinary women and get the latest updates from HQ, which is headquarters. Let's mobilize together to elect Kamala this November.
Hey, Haley, too, our president now,
Yes.
President Biden, is doing some, it's like the governor's off, meaning, he is full speed ahead on speaking his truth.
Yeah.
He's not running again, but, he does not think that there should be immunity for crimes for the president. No immunity, they're citizens too. And the Supreme Court is really, really put themselves in a bad position by doing that, because they know the Democrats aren't going to go off and do something crazy, whether it's something bad or illegal, and not pay the consequences. The Democrats are too nice when it comes to things like that. The Republicans seem to be doing and saying whatever they want and calling it truth when we all know they're lies. And
Yeah.
so it's great that President Biden's bringing these things up.
Yeah, I think this is kind of like, Kamala's taking over the reins and, running for election, and President Biden's plan to reform the Supreme Court is,
Yes.
to ensure no president is above the law. So this means no immunity for crimes a president committed in office. There's no one above the law amendment. And then also term limits he is trying to set for Supreme Court justices.
That would be awesome.
That would
You know,
be a game changer. Because
well, and the sad thing too, Haley, and you being young, and I'm only using it as an example, you being young, we used to think that the Supreme Court was down the middle. They read the laws the way they were supposed to be and came out with good decisions that were good for the people. What's
Yeah.
happening now, and especially with the clowns that the orange one put in,
Mhm.
there's just an agenda, and
Yeah.
there's not law. They're
No.
not reading the law. They lied. They could be taken off now for lying, saying that they would not change Roe, and I'm telling you, that's gonna change this whole election.
Yeah, our Supreme Court has been very one-sided for a while here. President Biden's plan to reform the Supreme Court includes the president would appoint a justice every 2 years to spend 18 years in active service on the Supreme Court. 18 years. So how long can someone remain now?
Till they die.
Really? So there is no
I mean, people have retired,
there's no
but
limit?
people have retired when and then shortly thereafter passed away. Yeah, there's no limit. It's for life.
Wow. Yeah, so that is, we need we need some limits on that. I just, have been seeing so many different memes and videos of how ancient our Supreme Court members are.
Yeah, well,
And
it's
that just it keeps us back in those generations, in those eras where there wasn't equality for everyone living in the United States. And this is definitely not a time or place to be going backwards in our Constitution at all, or making any of the same mistakes which we should have learned from our ancestors and those who came before us in those generations. This is a time to be moving forward and not retracting laws that have been put in place to protect American people.
exactly. Hey, we're so excited too. We talk about this on Native Roots Radio a lot, but to have a president like Kamala, you know, uh, coming up, somebody that looks like what this country will look like in another 20, 30 years, and I think she brings so much to the table, and I'm sure she's learned a lot. You don't stop learning, but becoming vice president and seeing how President Biden does things, and President Biden's been, in the game for 50 years. So this was all orchestrated in a good way. Right after Milwaukee, the RNC, and then the timing, and I'm sure he had all his ducks in a row before he supported Kamala, Vice President Harris.
Yes.
We are so excited. And seeing the TikToks and then talking to you, donating money, that just brightens my day and I think things are going to be all right.
Yeah. And, there's a lot of talk on the right side of, oh, people are just voting for her because she's a woman.
Oh,
Um, yeah. I mean, there hasn't been any, president that's been a woman, and look at where we are, like what kind of progress can a woman, women get stuff done.
yeah.
And this has been proven on, many other political platforms. And
Well, it's been proven on this show for many years.
right,
Right?
right. And then talking about our native culture, we respect women, and we're led by our matriarchs in our family, and um, it makes sense coming from a native perspective.
Yeah, I'm just totally excited for the future. And I'm going to have grandbabies here coming up Friday, twins that are going to be born, and going to be really excited about that. It'll be after the show, so I won't be able to be bursting it, but I will be taking pictures and bursting in. I see my old friend Denise is on there, and Denise knows a lot about the trail that we've been on, and I want to say a big Peeny thank you to Denise that's listening in, and has been a good friend of mine since 1980.
Wow,
Yeah,
that
you
is
didn't know
pretty
I was
cool.
alive that long, did you?
1980, right? But yeah, like you just said, we have our next generation in our family coming up, so that's why, this election means, a lot more.
Yeah, definitely. Well, again, we want to just thank everyone for listening. What an exciting show. And we're really excited about the future of this country. And the one thing too that's really interesting and good is that when we put people in there with common sense, we can push them more to the left and they can listen. Just look at what Biden's done. He in his presidency, he's more progressive than Obama was, and we loved Obama. So other than
Yeah.
that Standing Rock little thing, but that's something that, the whole art of work and the work that he did for our people, we salute him. But we are great here, and this is Native Roots Radio. If you're listening to the show, you're part of the resistance. From Chief Plenty Coops, the ground in which we stand on is sacred ground. It's the blood of our ancestor. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office, and vote. We're still here. We are the seventh generation.
And free Leonard Peltier now.
Hi, this is Philip Anthony.